Hi there. In this chapter, we will cover devices. We'll now go through how to edit and create new devices in your TechMan system. Devices are located within the settings, under the drop-down below Site sublocations. When you go into Devices, this will show you any that have already been created and are in use, both devices and their authentication keys. The layout works from left to right. You can see the date of creation, the device name, the authentication key for each corresponding device, when it was last used, and the main access level assigned to that key. This allows you to customize access so a device can be limited to terminal only, TechView only, Wallboard only, or have access to multiple features. The final column is enabled. This indicates whether an authentication key is active. If a staff member leaves the business, you can disable their key, which will immediately prevent them from accessing or re-authenticating on any device. To create a new device, you can select New Device in the top right corner, or click the blue plus icon at the end of Manage Devices. From here, you can begin the process of creating authentication keys for individual devices. You start by inputting a device name. This name can be anything you like. You can use the technician's name or describe what it's for. For example, it could be David's tablet. Next, input an authentication key. This must be unique and cannot have been used before, but you can choose the key format yourself. You can then select the specific access permissions for Terminal, TechView, or Wallboard. You can also choose whether to allow or hide the on-screen keyboard. You then decide whether you want the device to be enabled or disabled at this point. If you are a single-site business, you will only have one site option. However, if you are a multi-site business, you can specify which site the device should be available on. Once you've selected the site allocation, you can click Save. That is the authentication key created. What I can now show you is how the authentication key is put into use and how you can authenticate a device. Each authentication key is unique to one device, meaning every device will need its own key. Once created, you simply input the key on the device and click Authenticate. That is the device authenticated. From here, the technician can use their technician ID and PIN to access any jobs allocated to them. Thanks for watching. For further assistance, feel free to visit our help centre to reach out to our support team. We're always here to help.